In all my years serving on alien worlds, I'd never met anyone like Queen Sarathia of Arendor. Tall, radiant, and terrifyingly powerful, she ruled a kingdom that spanned 6 moons. Every man in her presence bowed lower than he thought possible. Every woman envied her command, and me? I was the human ambassador accidentally assigned to her court after a diplomatic mix-up. I was supposed to be negotiating trade routes. Instead, I was standing on a platform made of crystal, surrounded by alien nobles with silver eyes, trying not to die from embarrassment because I had just said something that no one should ever say to an alien queen. It slipped out. I didn't mean to, but when she turned, graceful as a goddess, her gown shimmering with starlight, and leaned slightly to inspect a holographic display, the words escaped before I could stop them. Holy hell. That's a perfect butt. Silence. The kind that eats your soul. Every noble in the room froze. The guards raised their plasma spears. Someone dropped a glass that shattered across the floor like my career, and Queen Sarathia slowly turned, her glowing violet eyes locked onto me. "Human," she said, her voice smooth and cold as a frozen sea. "Repeat what you just said." My throat went dry. I said, "Your tactical map looks perfectly perfectly clear." Her eyebrow arched, a dangerous little motion that could probably start wars. "Did you mistake my form for a map, Ambassador?" I swallowed hard. No. Your Majesty, it was a cultural compliment?" A few of the courtiers gasped. A soldier whispered something in Arendorian, probably dig his grave now. Then something strange happened. The Queen's lips curved. Not in anger, not in disgust. She smiled, and that was somehow worse. The private summons. An hour later, I stood outside her private chamber, sweating bullets. 2 alien guards, each twice my height and armored like walking fortresses, watched me with blank faces. One announced in a deep voice, "The Queen will see the human. Alone." The door slid open with a soft hum. Inside, the air was warmer, scented with something sweet and electric. The chamber glowed with living crystal walls that pulsed like a heartbeat. The Queen stood near a massive window overlooking Arendor's twin suns. Her armor was gone. In its place, a flowing dark blue gown that shimmered like liquid night. Her hair, silver white, cascaded down her back. I tried not to stare. "I failed, Ambassador," she said without turning. "Do humans often comment on their monarch's posteriors?" "No, Your Majesty," I said quickly. "Usually we get executed before the chance." She laughed. A deep, melodic sound that wrapped around me like warmth. "Relax, human. If I intended to punish you, you'd already be ash." "Oh, good," I muttered. "So this is just the friendly kind of terror." Her smile widened as she finally faced me.
"You amuse me? I do?"
"You spoke what others think but never dare to say. Honesty is rare here." She stepped closer, her violet eyes shimmering. "Tell me, human, do all your kind admire such things?" I blinked. Some more than others. "And you?" she asked, taking another step closer. The space between us hummed with strange energy. I felt my heart race. "I'm definitely in the more category." She studied me, like I was both an insect and an unsolved mystery. "You risk your life for honesty." "I respect that." Then she reached out and touched my chin, lifting it gently. "In Arendor," she whispered, "we value courage. And desire is not a crime." I couldn't breathe. Her hand was warm, almost glowing against my skin. But before I could say anything, she turned away and said softly, "Tomorrow, you will accompany me to the Crystal Gardens. Perhaps I'll learn more about this strange human honesty." I barely managed to bow before the guards escorted me out, still in a daze. The Crystal Gardens. The next day, I met her in the gardens, a floating expanse of bioluminescent trees and flowers that sang with light. She wore lighter armor this time, trimmed in silver, her crown replaced by a single glowing gem on her forehead. I couldn't believe I was walking beside her like an equal. "You're quieter today," she said. "Regret your words?" "Honestly, no," I admitted. "It was stupid, but true." She tilted her head. "Humans speak truth even when it endangers them." Fascinating. We stopped near a crystal waterfall that poured into the air itself, refracting light into dancing rainbows. She reached out and touched the stream. It curved around her fingers like silk. On my world, she said, beauty is a weapon. We're taught to wield it, to command through it. But you, she looked at me. You looked at me as if I were simply beautiful, I blinked. Isn't that what you are? Her gaze softened for the first time. No one has ever said that to me without wanting something in return. I didn't want anything, I said quietly. I just noticed. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Only the gentle hum of the garden filled the air. Then she smiled again. You're a dangerous man, human. How so? Because you speak from the heart. And my people fear hearts more than weapons. The Queen's secret that night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying her voice, her smile, the way her eyes had lingered on me. But at dawn, alarms blared through the palace. I rushed to the command deck, only to find Queen Sarathia standing in full armor, her calm face illuminated by tactical holograms. Enemy fleet detected, said one of her generals. They've breached the outer orbit. The Queen glanced at me. Ambassador, stay behind me. Like hell I will. She looked at me, surprised by my tone. You would fight for a world not your own? I'd fight for you, I said before I could stop myself. For a heartbeat, she looked stunned. Then her expression softened again. You're either the bravest or the stupidest human alive. Probably both. The battle raged for hours. Plasma fire streaked across the skies. The palace trembled under bombardment. At one point, a blast shattered part of the shield dome, and debris rained down near the Queen. I ran instinctively, shoving her aside as the impact scorched the floor. She stared at me, shocked. You could have died. Would have been worth it, I said, coughing through the smoke. When the fighting finally stopped, the enemy retreated. The palace was scarred but standing, and the Queen stood before me, her eyes full of something I'd never seen before. Emotion. The confession later that night. She summoned me again. This time, there were no guards. The room was dim, lit only by the twin moons outside. She stood by the balcony, the wind playing with her hair. I've been thinking, she said quietly, about what you said. About how you see me. I hesitated. If I offended you, You didn't. She turned, her expression soft. You reminded me that I'm more than a title, more than armor and duty. She stepped closer, her gaze locking with mine. You saw me as a woman? I still do. A faint blush colored her cheeks. Then tell me, human, what do you see now? I took a breath. I see the strongest, most beautiful being I've ever met. Someone who could destroy worlds but chooses not to. Someone who deserves to be loved, not just obeyed. For the first time, the mighty Queen Sarathia looked uncertain, vulnerable. She reached up, placed her hand over my heart. You feel no fear? Only awe. She smiled, a small, trembling thing, and then leaned forward until our foreheads touched. You're a fool, human, she whispered. But perhaps you're my fool. I felt her breath against my lips. The air seemed to hum around us, and then she kissed me. Not a royal, polite kiss, but something deep, desperate, alive, like the first spark between stars. When she pulled back, her eyes shimmered with light. Now, she murmured, you know what honesty can earn. I smiled breathlessly. Still worth the risk. She laughed again. The same laugh that had terrified me once, now the most beautiful sound in the galaxy. Epilogue. Weeks later, peace returned to Arendor. The Queen's Council had mixed opinions about the human ambassador who complimented the royal anatomy, but Sarathia ignored them all. One evening, as we stood watching the sunset bleed across the twin suns, she glanced at me and said softly, It began with your foolish words, human. And yet, it was the truest thing anyone has ever said to me. I grinned. Guess honesty really is the best diplomacy. She smiled, leaned closer, and whispered in my ear. Then perhaps you should find something else about me to be honest about. And just like that, the Queen of Arendor, conqueror of 6 moons, ruler of billions, laughed as I blushed like a child, because sometimes the greatest revolutions begin with one stupid, honest sentence.